Z, I really liked the Wiggles picture, as Dan called it. He said you were like one of the gay Wiggles.
Oh, thanks. I like packed all my sweatshirts and my sister left this one here. So I didn't know it would make me look like Colonel Sanders in the frame, but
I thought that was one of your better pictures.
thank you.
Actually, with the little tie there, you look one of the handmaids.
Tucker
Mhm.
Carlson.
Please send it to your aunt.
What I will do that. I saved it for sure. I immediately
Guys,
saved it.
can you hear this chair?
No, not really.
It does a great chair impression.
All right, we ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat 2 yogurts today because we bought like a huge pack of yogurt from Costco and we like didn't eat it. And now we leave in 2 days and there's a lot of yogurt to eat and I don't want to waste it.
Dude,
Stay,
I've been eating like a quart of yogurt a day.
stay
It's like a
tuned
lot
for
of,
Z's yogurt porn. She takes to
Uh,
it.
yeah. DYI.
what?
Do yourself it.
Do yogurt in.
Good God.
Double yogurt.
Welcome to this
Oh,
episode
insertion.
Welcome to this episode of the Prestige.
2 yogurts, 1 cup.
Welcome to this episode of the Prestige-ish Media Podcast. I'm your host, Craig Lake, and with me are two yogurt twins, Dan McNair and Jessica Z. Dan, how are you this evening?
Low fat.
Z, what kind of yogurt are you this evening?
Greek.
Hey-o.
Lower back hair.
Using crackers. All right, let's talk about Euphoria. We are rounding the corner on season 2, making our way to season 3 in just weeks. And by the time I edit this, days probably. Dan, initial thoughts on season 2, episode 2, Out of Touch. Your thoughts?
I feel a little out of touch with this entire show. I gave the episode a 7.6. The way things are shaping up, I'm not always the biggest fan of the love triangle. And we get setting the scene for a couple love triangles right about now. And I don't know if that's a love hexagon, a love rhombus, but there's ickiness abound with it and not that great.
You're more of a cowbell guy yourself than the triangle. But I will
More cowbell.
say, I enjoyed 2 better than 3. So I definitely get what you're saying. By the time we get to 3, I thought 2 was better for multiple reasons. Z, your thoughts on episode 2 and a rating?
Okay, I think I give it, wow, it was so long ago when I was supposed to watch it.
A week ago, but yes.
How long a week is in my house.
Totally understood. So it's the one you
The-
were trying to spoil at the end of what we were recording last time.
It was wait, I said something like completely ridiculous though, right?
I think you guys definitely had the names of Custer and Elliot a little bit more from this episode than the previous episode because it's definitely more
Oh,
prominent.
shit.
Just give me a rating for this episode. There's 2 that you were supposed to see, for crying out loud.
All right. 7 out of 10. But I agree, it was better than the next one. Except oh my God. I love the gays in the next one. We'll get to that.
Can't wait. I've got this one as an 8. Standard Sydney Sweeney boob affair on my part. But I did think I liked the tension in this episode better. The tension in the next episode made me feel a little bit icky. Like I didn't love where the next episode was going. But this one, I didn't mind as much. So we can get into it a little bit. The other thing I will say about this season, I think last season, the like dream and out of context sequences were used a little more sparingly, and I think they were more effective. We start to get into Damon dream territory with all of the like visions where you don't really know what's real or not, and like it's obvious, but then some stuff's just super weird. Last season we got when Jules is at the club and she's picturing Rue and the girl and Nate, and it's just all weird. And the opening scene with Nate here is a little bit like that. Like he supposedly has this infatuation with Cassie, but he's imagining her pregnant. At one point his dad is eating a dude's ass. We do know he knows that Maddie has the CD, so that rears its ugly head again. And yeah, it's a big mush bumble of stuff here. What were your thoughts on that open, Dan?
Yeah, it didn't do much for me, to be honest. I thought the CD was going to come back into play pretty relevant, or at least like shortly, and they're teasing it a little bit too long for my liking so far this season. I want that to really be the catalyst, and they're holding it back on me.
Z, what did you make of that weird open? And does Nate really like Cassie, or is he just a weirdo, or what's going on?
It was sort of a Grey's Anatomy like for me. I only watched like one season of that, but it was in a hospital. And but I thought he was gonna die. I was surprised that he didn't, but I was like, oh, this is funny that like his dad gets his chick even in his like nightmare, even in
Weren't they
his
like,
dreams.
even in his dreams, weren't they like tussling at one point, like wrestling again? Like, I feel like he wants to bang his dad, maybe. I don't know. It's all weird. He's like gay Oedipus, except instead of poking out his
Well,
eyes,
I
he
won't ruin
pokes out his
episode. I
butt.
won't ruin episode 4 for you then.
Hi. So yeah, that's the open. Very mixed bag of emotions for me, going between Sydney Sweeney's boobs and Nate. And I get it's always a running thing with me, but not too many people like less likable for her to be with than Nate, besides maybe Nate's dad. Advantage push there. Like, it's rough. So it's a new year. We've got Jules, Rue, and Elliot. It definitely gets weirder in the next episode with Elliot, I feel like. But I feel like in this episode, he seems a little more innocent, other than the drug habit, and that being not a good influence for both him and Rue. But then also, what do we make of Jules like crying and getting all butthurt about nothing happening when she just 2 weeks ago ran off and was like banging some chick in San Francisco or wherever it was? Dan, what do you make of all this?
It comes back to my initial feeling that like love triangles are just, I don't know, tired and not always fun. Other than there being a whole bunch of like weird gender stuff between them, I don't know how this is that much different from all the love triangles that I've been tired of going back to moonlighting in the 80s. Like it just seems to just keep dragging on and become tiresome for me.
Z, what do you think of this triangulation? Are you a fan of Elliot?
This pink triangulation.
No, I think Elliot is a bad, I don't want to say like a bad influence, but just like sort of that they're like influencing each other. Like I feel like they would use drugs less if they weren't hanging out. It would be good for both of them to not be around each other. And also, it's not Jules's fault that she's crying. It's just she does the hormones, and girls love to have their cake and eat it too.
Typical girls. So we've got Cassie pretty depressed, and then Maddie and Cassie text. Pretty messy for Cassie. We see Maddie's babysitting little Theo, trying on the lady's clothes. Did we think she was going to hook up with the mom that she was babysitting for?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a little, it wasn't like subtle. She tried donating eggs at 17. What's the going rate on an egg donation? Does anybody know what that involves?
When I was in college, it was like 2000.
And then you
2
can
to
do it,
4.
you can do it like how often? Like once a month or how?
No, it's like a whole thing.
I've never donated my eggs before.
You have to do injections for a month or so, and then they like have to harvest the eggs out of your body with a little surgery.
So it's like reverse IVF.
Yes.
So I thought it was really weird, like Maddie talking about wanting to be pregnant. I think she said like her being pregnant would be just like her, but pregnant. Was that what your experience was like, Z?
Yes, it was 280-pound me, but pregnant.
I am so proud of you for losing your post-baby weight, and I think you should be proud of yourself, Z. You've defeated obesity, so congratulations.
Yeah.
What do we make of this Maddie Cassie triangle now, Dan? You said last episode, I think you were like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Is that what I remember? Was that Z? Sometimes I mix you two up, but I thought that's what I heard last time.
We're so similar,
Yes.
except that I have donated all my eggs, is the only difference. But yeah, this seems like some tension that they're going to be dragging on all season. And I don't have the patience for that. I want them to fight, call it out.
You want them to fist fight. You want Godzilla versus Kong. Let them fight. From my side, I will say this. I think when I talk about the tension of the episode, the relationship tension is like the least interesting stuff. The bigger plot points or the higher level plot points are maybe at least interesting, but just the day-to-day relationship stuff is probably the least interesting. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I would. And when we were talking about, like, in the terms of Rue and Jules, a will they, won't they? Now I feel like they might be landing here with the Maddie, Nate, Cassie, will they, won't they?
I feel like they're landing there with everything.
Wow.
Speaking of which, any more thoughts on Maddie and Cassie, Jessica, or what about the Ethan and Kat situation?
My sister's going through this right now. Like her boyfriend's, there's nothing wrong with him. She's just
Is this you trying to
not in
angle to
love.
get your porch discount back on air?
No, like I think they're back together, and if they're not, she's an idiot because he's great. His discounts are good. I accidentally sent her the screenshot that I sent to you first, and she called me, who are you sending that to? And I was like, dude, I was just trying to show that like my first concern was my discount
And to
on
be
my
fair, when
lumber.
you told me, I immediately asked about the discount.
Yeah, and I was like, then I showed her like what you said, and I was like, see, I just wanted to like laugh about how like his first concern was like my discount on the deck lumber, and that was my first concern when you told me. But I think they're back together, so that's good because the kids are asking to see his dog. They
What
see
did you make?
Noodles.
What did you make of the Dothraki cat fantasy, Dan? And what do you make of this dynamic?
I didn't ask for any of that. Like, cat fantasies are fantasies that I can do without. Is this where Cat is like frustrated with Ethan and she tells one of them, like, he's fine, I just thought it would feel different?
I feel like she tells them that everything's fine, but maybe she pictures that she says something else, but then she just says it's fine or whatever because they're all like jealous of the relationship. And she like imagines the Dothraki guy like impaling him and then ravaging her, which once again we could all probably do without.
Yeah, I think I might be skipping ahead a little bit, so I'll pause it there.
Nate's dad is on the warpath to find out like exactly what happened here. So at first he's just trying to defend his son, right? Like he feels like his son should be sticking up for himself because he's not hip to the fact something else is going on here. Is that accurate? Are you reading that the same way, Dan?
Yeah, he seems to want like this justification, and I think his measures might be a little bit too far. I can understand wanting to be a parent that wants to get answers, but the way that like he just charges into Lexi and Cassie's house and starts interrogating people and makes this crusade of his own, it's too far for me.
What did you think of Nate's dad trying to get to the bottom of what's going on here, Z?
I love a good mystery. I know exactly what he's doing. He is a bored stay-at-home mom, and
Ah,
he does seem to have a lot of time to figure this out. But I think he's trying to get the tape at this point, right?
Not quite yet. He doesn't know, like, he knows he's missing the tape, but he doesn't know where or what's going on with the tape. At this point, I think he's really just trying to defend his son's honor and like their family's good name or,
Oh,
you
dude, I
know,
would be way more worried about. He doesn't
yeah.
even, he likes that tape way more than he likes Nate.
Yeah, I think he has this weird protective thing over Nate. Do you see that, Dan, or how do you read what his relationship with Nate is?
yeah, I think there is that, and I also think from his understanding, like this was in the middle of a crowded party. Everybody saw it. So
Yeah.
why is nobody talking? And I think the more that people don't talk to him or answer it, like the more obsessed he becomes with finding out.
Yeah, and I do think this is a different side of the coin that I mentioned an episode or two ago with Rue not being told what she didn't know from Jules. Intentions were good, but it ultimately led to some bad stuff. And here, I don't know how you'd read intentions, but a little bit of information here would have saved him from making the situation worse. But and that's ultimately like he thinks he's trying to get a handle on a situation and he's really just going to make it worse, and it's getting like more out of control the more involved he gets, it feels. But at first, and some of this comes from Cassie feeling threatened, and then now we've set up the relationship potentially with Lexi and Fezco. I think this dynamic's interesting for this episode. I don't think it's a good long-term idea. And then I think they get even weirder with Lexi. Like, I think they're just trying to find out what they do with Judd Apatow's daughter more than anything. But what do you make of like the Lexi and Cassie dynamic with the Nate and Fezco triangle, Z?
Wait, there's no triangle there, right?
Quad angle, like the fact like Lexi's trying to
Oh,
like
that
somewhat Lexi's
Lexi
concerned with
likes.
Lexi's concerned with Fezco and Cassie's ratting out Fezco basically and protecting Nate. And I don't know that they both know what the other's interests are. Like obviously she doesn't know about Cassie and Nate, and I don't know that she's really verbalized anything with her and Fezco, obviously. Have you ever
Uh,
would it be like you ratting out Gary the Third and her ratting out Gary the Second, or have you ever?
no, we're pretty quick to rat out our own men, but I don't know. Like, how is Cassie supposed to know? And also, I feel like Cassie's just trying to get the heat off of that
Well,
whole situation.
I thought the most interesting thing is that like Lexi's tiptoed up to this point. And she actually called her an idiot for thinking that like he was going to get the police involved or that like they would get her text files. But how she's been pseudo threatened by Nate, I could understand why that would be a concern. Your thoughts, Dan?
I agree with everything there. Lexi seems to have more empathy, and I don't know that Cassie would even notice if Lexi was interested in anybody. And if she did know that, would she really want to protect her, or would she just be interested in Nate? Like, she doesn't seem to be that much of an upstanding character.
And I do feel like, Nate was already working over Maddie, but Maddie's like such a like Cassie is so in over her head with someone like Nate, I feel like. Do you guys see that as well, or?
The power dynamic is completely uneven.
And I can see from Cassie's standpoint how like she knows Maddie's and she's Nate just needs somebody that's going to be supportive and take care of him. And so she's maybe errantly going that angle, not realizing what a buzzsaw she's walking into.
Yeah, like I think we all generally think Maddie's a piece of, but I would still say Nate is more of a piece of. Is that where we stand, or how do you rank blame pie that relationship? Z?
I think Nate could have made her a piece of like he is definitely way worse. She's apathetic and selfish and like self-absorbed, but Nate is a psychopath.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think whoever she would have ended up with, she would have ended up with a Cassie and basically nated Cassie either way. Like I think they're both two sides of a coin, but he's just literally a psychopath. Dan, your thoughts?
I think it's a really interesting chicken or sell the egg argument. I think Maddie was headed down that road just when we got like some of her backstory in her childhood at the beauty pageants and this entitlement and like how she'd never really wanted to do anything and just wanted to hitch her wagon. And I do think maybe to Z's point, like Nate exacerbated the worst parts and made her even bitchier. Yeah, I do think that there's that on that diagram, like Nate is the biggest piece of Maddie's next in line, and then Cassie's somewhere far down. But I can see Cassie turning into a version of Maddie at some point.
I just don't think she's as
Next
equipped.
episode, actually.
I just don't think she's as equipped to handle things. Like, obviously, she knows how to use her body to get what she wants, but I don't feel like there's a plan past that. Whereas Maddie's just a lot more mentally equipped to jar or joust with somebody of Nate's psychoticness. And I would say those two are like obviously textbook definition of a toxic relationship for sure. So Faye pushed a hotel manager off a balcony. I thought it was funny, like him staying in Ashtray being irritated with the whole situation. I will say older Ashtray is not as entertaining as 2 years younger Ashtray. Like the more he ages up for me, a little the shine comes off of him. And also he's a little psycho. Some of that's fun, but some of it's not as fun as it was for me in the first season. What do you make of this dynamic, Z?
Yeah,
Would you live with Faye?
I just don't understand, like, these are the only people she has. I don't know. It must be tough being a junkie.
Yeah, when she's not shooting heroin in her cooter, she's climbing into vents. Dan, your thoughts?
First off, I think it's interesting that not only do you not like girls as they age, but even the young boys, like you get turned off to very quickly. So that I thought was a very glowing confession on your part. So thank you for your honesty there. I don't need that much more of Faye. She annoys me. She's got her inflatable bicycle pump lips, and I don't want to see it.
You know
Do
what?
we? What's that? Go ahead.
Who she would look like if she didn't like mess with her lips. I don't know what her lips looked like before, but if she had natural lips, she looks like Brittany Murphy.
Brittany Murphy
I
looks like three different people herself.
think Brittany Murphy might have had more natural beauty, but Faye lays
No,
on
you like
bad
literally.
cosmetics so much that it's hard to see what we're working with there.
If STD free and drug free, I might pick Faye over Brittany Murphy, even in her prime. But I was never a big Brittany Murphy fan. So how about that?
Well, does he go after
Not even an 8
corpses
Mile?
too?
I didn't see 8 Mile.
What? Wait, that's so
So
strange for a rapper to not have watched 8 Mile.
So yeah, I'm just kind of picturing like the Dukes of Hazzard theme, but instead of them like sliding across the General Lee, it's like Custer pushing her in the vent. But I just thought that was a prime like junky moment of the episode. So we talked about the Nate's dad confrontation. We talked about Lexi being pissed. I thought the interesting one thing I do want to say in this episode specifically, this show does so well, and I've mentioned it before, but I want to re-mention it again here. Like, we get the call back to Cassie and Lexi's dad leaving when he robbed the silverware, and we find out that Lexi actually did see that, and she didn't say anything as well. So Cassie feels guilty about being the only one, but now we see that Lexi also saw that scene. This is a different look into it, but like last scene, we didn't see some of what happened. And this one's an easier one to film, but like we didn't see how Cassie's dress got tangled or what happened with her and Nate. And we get a little bit more of that picture in this episode. But I just think the way they bounce back and forth with scenes is very creative and interesting filmatically. I think it's actually one of the higher quality things this show does. We also find out that Lexi approached Rue about her addiction right before she OD'd and felt guilty about that. So I thought both of those were done well, both in the micro and the macro. Your thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that it really served the Lexi narrative that they're trying to deliver here. Like the whole point of it was I should have spoken up and I didn't. And so they reference these story points that we already know from other perspectives. And it really seems to build upon itself in a very believable way, the way that they chose to do it.
Yeah, and I do think like last season, like they didn't really have anything for Lexi to do besides being like Rue's friend and Cassie's sister. I thought they started this season strong. We can talk about the next episode once again. I don't necessarily like where we end up with her, but I think in these two episodes, they've done a lot of heavy lifting for making this character more interesting. Z, your thoughts on the Lexi flashbacks?
I don't have any.
Cat and her like influencer dreams, like all the Cat Damon dream sequences are way too much for me. Do you have any thoughts on her interacting with all these fake influencers about how she likes herself or doesn't like herself, Z?
Oh, is this where they're like, you're so confident. And she's, I'm not confident. That's the thing. Is that this part?
Yes, it
That was
is.
annoying. That was so annoying. I was like, there's better ways to get this point across. Like the fact that she doesn't hang out with anyone and she just talks to like men for money online because it makes her feel good about herself. Like we already know.
Yeah, I would say that I feel like they lost themselves a little bit of even what to do with Kat starting this season. And I would also say that okay, I give the opening dream sequence with Nate a pass, as weird as it may have been, but now you've gone full Dothraki, and now you're getting into this thing. I don't imagine you liked it any more than me, Dan, but your thoughts.
You could say I've had large doses of cat and I could use less. And I was actually more interested in these fake personas that were taunting her. I'm like, I want to know more about that one. Let's cut out cat and let's do more detailed work here.
Yeah, I was just imagining these are all the like self-help TikTok, Instagram influencers. This is just like an amalgamation or
Oh,
amalgorithm of that.
Her Tumblr followers.
I think these are more like influencer than followers, though, here. Like the self-help gurus that you follow, and they'll teach you how to not eat 42 pina coladas in one sitting.
I can't follow people like that. Give me true crime.
I was pretty uneasy when Nate's taking Cassie to this construction site to break up with her. And then she runs, like, didn't really seem like a safe place for her to be at night, and running up the stairs of these partially completed homes. What did you make of all of this, Dan?
Yeah, I
And
actually thought she was
and
gonna like trip and get a nail through her arm and get like tetanus or something.
and then eventually definitely splinters, right? When they go full Mountie here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like this dynamic. I wish they would have broken up. I don't know that I necessarily understood the cat mouse game that they were playing and how it got to be here, but it makes me like both characters less.
Z, your thoughts on the construction site cat and mouse game, as Dan termed it?
I thought it was like an airport or something. I couldn't really tell, but Nate has this like girly need for drama. And I think like he like can't just be normal. Like he needs to have a fight and whatever to get aroused. And I don't know why.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's the power dynamic with him. Like he has some weird thing with that, probably because of his dad. Go ahead, Dan.
And I was going to say his dad's in construction, and we saw him at this site when Nate was hauled into the principal's office, right? Weren't they like building homes and he was there with a foreman? So I marked this as like basically the same development that Nate went to after hours, but I don't know if you guys interpreted it
I
that
just
way.
took it as one of his dad's projects he's working on. I didn't pin it down other than just the broad strokes of it, if you will. So we end up with Lexi showing up at Fezco's, and once again I'm covering some of these in tandem, but like they start just layering all of these, like building suspense as they flash to flash to flash. But ultimately, we get Lexi and Fezco's. She sees Faye and gets the wrong interpretation of what's going on there. So that changes her dynamic. I felt really bad for Lexi there. It definitely made me feel very uncomfortable. That's maybe the worst I've felt for her, because just such an awkward situation for her to be in. But then Nate's dad shows up and she hasn't told Nate. So then I'm like, she should have, at least when she saw he was coming in or something, or left, or now we're in this whole big mess. What did you make of this, like, showcase showdown in the bodega with Nate's dad and Fezco and Lexi? Your thoughts, Dan?
I thought Nate's dad, it was weird how he was basically stalking the family.
Do we think he had a gun and he just
I
didn't
mean, I
take it
wouldn't be
out, or were
surprised
they
for the
just
character, but I
teasing the
never
gun?
saw. He does like point something in his pocket.
And he
And
ultimately
so,
pulls out a 20, but I didn't know. And there was like a weird noise. Like it seemed like Lexi thought it was a gun.
and isn't 20 probably paying way too much
Well,
for,
yeah, I think he was just like, give it and give it, get the out thing.
Yeah. I don't know, like there was some tension, but it wasn't terribly remarkable for me. Ultimately, nothing really happened of consequence where I was like, oh, this is like a great way to end an episode or a great to tool off on here.
Z, your thoughts?
I don't know if you guys watched like the videos like at the after the credits or whatever, but it was a dildo in his pocket.
It's
And
it was a dildo at the shawarma restaurant. Go ahead.
yeah, it's the one that like him and the girls use for spin the bottle. Mina gave it to him, and I liked it. I thought it was super creepy. He was being creepy, and I just thought like some it would actually amount to something, but it was just build up with no release.
So I think maybe before this, I don't know at what point it happens, but we can like cover it now because I think this is why Nate's dad ultimately goes, no, he hasn't revealed the Maddie DVD situation yet. But
Right.
do we think that Maddie, the reason that he was trying to break up with Cassie is because he knows that Maddie still has that DVD? Do we think that's mostly the impetus more than just the triangle side? Because I do actually think that was the impetus behind it, is he knows he can't be with Cassie because Maddie has that DVD.
I'd say it's a factor, but I think the psychotic nature of him, like, I think he still wants to possess all the women. So I don't think he can just let Maddie be. Like, if she gave him the DVD back, he'd still be interested in her.
I think he'd go back, but I think in the moment, this is his reason to that things can't happen with him. We do get some conversation with Maddie and Jules, like about the like that kind of level never be enough for me. We get, I think, the bowling scene somewhere around here. Jules wants Rue to go bowling, but Rue had her Narcanon meeting, but she did drugs with Elliot before that, and then Ali can tell she's drugged up, and so he drives her home and meets her mom, and we get like that tension. Any thoughts on Rue and Ali, the drugs, Jules, where we are here, Z?
Yeah, about Ali bringing her home.
Yes. Or
Now he
just
knows her
another chance for
mom.
you to on Rue. Go ahead.
Now he knows her mom. So I said, I have a really good would you rather for you guys later. But Ali is gonna for mom if she doesn't get sober.
Same,
And yeah, and then I
same.
said, damn, high stakes sponsor.
So what's your would you rather?
Can't do it yet. It's for later.
Okay. Faye pulls on in my hotel room and falls, and Fezco thinks it's like something with Nate's dad. So eventually Nate confronts his dad, and he makes up this alternate story that the drug dealer is trying to blackmail him and that Rue and Jules are involved, which partially true that he was threatened with that, but it was just to leave Jules alone from Rue. What do you make of this dynamic that's developing here, Z, with this fake story that Nate told his dad?
He's going to his dad, like not sexually, but he's gonna create a much bigger issue. Does he not? I don't know. I don't mess with people that like sell drugs and I just
I
feel like
wouldn't be my choice of things to do. Like
I
him calling the police on Fezco last season was just a wild choice, life
I
choice.
don't know why he's still, I don't know. 1 second with Ashtray and he's done.
Dan, your thoughts?
Nate's enough of a megalomaniac. Like, he's pretty darn manipulative. Who has he not out manipulated in the show? Like, now he's taking on his dad, and he seems to be getting upper hands all around. Not
Wants
upper
his
hand
dad to give
jobs,
him the
Craig.
upper hand.
Yeah, he like doesn't have to fight his enemies because now his enemies are gonna fight each other.
But the
There's
way
some
he's
sort of like
manipulating,
tip to tip height situation going on. Go ahead. There's ski
well, he was
slopes
definitely a
involved.
couple moves ahead in the way that he manipulated Jules last season, and it feels like he's doing the same thing with his dad.
Yeah, pretty messy. His dad's asking him about the DVD. So we assume based on this, he definitely doesn't tell his dad that Maddie has it, I don't think, as far as what I can tell here.
I don't think so either. And it's interesting that his dad doesn't be like, so how did you get it? How did it get out? Because if Nate's the only one that knows about it, it implicates him as having some culpability here.
Yeah, if he really doesn't know, he just knows that he was missing it. It could be plausible that somebody was plotting. It doesn't make sense to your point, but there's deniability there. Anything else from this episode from either of you?
No, I actually have notes on the next episode.
The next episode is season 2, episode 3, Ruminations, Big and Little Bullies. Jessica, initial rating and thoughts on episode 3.
It was entertaining,
Okay.
but I don't know. I had to watch it twice, so it like lost my interest or it just didn't have enough substance or something. And then like it was good the second watch though, but
Was the second watch
7
just so
out of
you
10.
could wank your way through the gay scenes?
That was the only part I did not have to rewatch.
Dan, your thoughts here and a
Well,
rating.
Z, did you give it a rating?
She gave it a 7.
Oh, okay. Whereas you guys both hinted that you might be down on this one, I actually gave it an 8.
Oh,
And I think that's my highest rating on this. And overall, it was okay, but we've noted in other shows where I have a soft spot of going back to the 90s nostalgia, and I'm probably the same age as Cal, even though I identify very differently. This was like the first time this show had actually played songs I knew, which I've been a little bit parched and starved on pop radio Euphoria album, like that Pandora station. So there were some good needle drops. There were a lot of just recognizable high school type things that, like, I could see me hating these guys in high school. And yeah,
so an 8 from old Dan. I'm going to give it the old 6.9. If this isn't my least favorite episode, it's tied for my least favorite episode. Z, you've mentioned liking this opening. It's like young love. I don't know how far we want to go, but we see young Cal and his buddy Derek. They're wrestling buddies. We get a lot of wieners and butts. Marcia, his wife, ultimately is very aggressive physically, and
Wait, that's his wife now?
I'm pretty sure that's his wife, yeah. And she ultimately got pregnant with their first kid. That's the screw up. And yeah, we see one thing I wanted to point out when they wouldn't get up in front of his dad, it's because they both had boners talking to each other on the bed. Is that what you made out of that, Z? Because
Oh, like when he couldn't get up, yeah.
because the one friend, when he left, had something like covering, like he did the old pillow trick with his bag or something. And then the son wouldn't get up, and the dad knows they're getting boners with each other, right? He didn't seem too cool with any of
He's
that.
like, what do you mean? You were fine a minute ago. Get up.
What would your dad do if if the two Garys were on the couch and had to use the throw pillows to cover their boners? How would that go down with your dad?
Wait, if Gary was with himself with a boner?
No, both Garys.
My son and my husband?
No, the other Gary, your sister's. Yeah. And then your
Well,
dad
that'd
came
be
in and
crazy
they had
because like getting a boner to yourself, but a smaller version of yourself.
That's-
Like, I honestly thought that they were not like keen on it. Like they didn't. I don't think they thought boners at first. I don't know. But that was something that they both secretly wanted for so long and like clearly fought to not act on it. And then their last chance to experience that together and they finally do it. And then it's just ruined. My heart broke. I stopped watching after that.
Dan, long scene here. We talked a little bit about the pillow boners they both had in front of their dad. I think you've talked about a little bit about like your dad's like firm hand back in the day with
what the hell are you talking about?
that your dad wasn't like pro gay. I thought you said he had some more old fashioned views or something like that.
I maybe, but I don't want to hear about boners and firm hands and my dad.
I wasn't putting them together the same way you were. But yeah, we see, and it seemed like Marcia could tell that there was a little bit of a issue, like at the wrestling match, and we got like this stare down, and I win pussy, and we got like some It's like Talladega Nights, where finally the second place driver can go into the pole position for once.
The shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
They're gonna shake and bake. So Derek gets him drunk intentionally, right? Is that not what he did? Would that be looked upon a little different if this was like a mixed sex situation? Like he got him drunk to do the damn thing. And then Dan, what can you tell me about In Excess? Is this like yacht rock? Is this Jessica Z's yogurt band? What can you tell me about INXS?
Yeah, they're called In Excess.
Okay.
I think you're playing dumb, but we get
I honestly I could not tell you anything. I watched the episode and I couldn't tell you an NXS song. I will say I did hit the forward button a few times on some of these scenes. They weren't my favorite, but go ahead, Dan. What can you tell me about NXS?
Mystify Me is a banger.
Is that is that the song from this episode?
They played that, and then I don't know if it's this song, this one, or the next one. They play like their ballad. Jeez, and now I already lost it. Never Tear Us Apart.
It was like they were singing like Thing Called Love to each other or whatever. Just a little bit of my heart. And in my day, that would have been the song they were singing to each other. But what can you tell me about your?
So they weren't favorite, but they were like a late 80s alternative. They had some good songs. I like the ones that they picked out here. They might have even played 3 In Excess songs through this.
Are they like grungier than Styx? Is it like REM version of Styx? What is this?
You're just naming whatever band you can think of. Off
Wait,
your
what do you mean an REM version of Styx? That is.
But they're like more handsome, less political U2.
What do you about an XSC?
They make some great music for hot gay dudes.
What did Z said?
And Dan.
Z said that this was like a heartbreaking scene for her. Ultimately, that they couldn't be together. What was your reaction to this?
Who sings that "Come Sail Away" song?
That sticks.
Cartman. Dan,
Cartman does a great version of it too.
Does
they
he
also
really?
played "She Sells Sanctuary" by The Cult, which is a damn good song too.
Is that any relation to She Sells Seashells by the Seashore?
Yeah, but Seashells by the Seashore is much more of a banger.
Yes, Sally, Runaround Sally. Dan, what was your thoughts on this unrequited love of Derek and Cal Sr.?
I didn't really make too much over it. I thought it was interesting to set up like how Cal gets to be like married in the situation, trying to be the upstanding citizen, but knowing that there's maybe a door that's been opened here that he's struggling with later in life.
Is this HBO Max Junipero? Question mark. I had to say the line Bart. Anything else? Marsha's pregnant. Do we think she's really pregnant, or is this her way of keep a Cal baby?
This is Nate's older brother, and this is why his dad looks so hot when Nate is like getting older himself now. That only happens when you have a young dad.
I'm glad you connected that this is a younger version of Marsha, because to me, like the teenage version looked nothing like the middle-aged wife version.
Yeah, teen Marsha's a lot hotter for sure.
And more fun.
Until later, Marsha seems to be reflecting on her fun.
Accepted. I do agree with that. But it would have made no sense without this beginning scene.
Right? Because that's literally like when I was like, wait, what the did I miss? Is it Nate's mom's a pervert?
And
yes.
One, she does have her feet at one point on the dashboard, but everywhere else. So
she does?
She has her feet up in the car, and then her feet make their way all around.
Oh, yeah. When she's younger. I thought you were talking about mom. And I was like, whoa.
All right. So we get Rue with her scheme to explain her relapse as weed apparently makes her horny too. There's some sort of, I think these are still better than like the cat sequences. Rue's are normally better, but we get like Rue presenting with Elliot. I did think it was funny. The dick pic from last year slipped into her slideshow. So I thought that was a funny nod. But she's explaining this to her sister and setting it up for everyone. So it doesn't look like she's fully relapsed. We get like a pretty interesting slap fight with Gia that I thought was some good acting on Gia's part. What did you make of all of this, Dan?
I liked the presentation of here's how to do a relapse, or here's the rules, here's your playbook for it. That had enough like comedy and tragedy mixed together that I'm a sucker for that sort of thing.
Did we need Rue on the toilet? I say no. Z, your thoughts here.
I also enjoyed that part, Dan, like when Rue talks to us, breaks the fourth wall. That was like a New York Times connection thing, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I had to Google
Oh,
it
geez.
because I didn't know. And so I learned it like not that long ago. So it was pretty cool. And
Yay,
I,
connections, but my Wordle streak is over, guys. That's breaking news.
what day was it?
118.
What, like which day did you miss?
Oh, geez.
What was going on and where was your girlfriend's feet?
All stuff for off podcast.
Dan's afraid of me clipping that one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wait, no, I was like, I feel like this is like a lost art form because I feel like a lot of shows do the
The foot
mockumentary
stuff?
shit.
Oh no,
No,
we're
that's
talking about
never
the
gonna lose that.
fourth wall. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was like, I swear there was like way more shows that used to do this, but now I like never see it. And I'm like, what was that? But then I also was like, it reminds me when they do the murder board and Only Murders. And then I was like, oh, what? There was like definitely a show where they like stopped and talked to you. And I'm not just like Clarissa Explains It All definitely did that. But
Saved by the Bell kind of did it.
Fleabag. Did you
The
watch
off
Fleabag?
the
No.
office-ish.
What are you?
Wiser was the word. Wiser
Dang.
was what got me. Because I'm
You should, if you would
stupid.
have put Wiener in like I told Z to do last week, you'd have had it.
There's
I
nothing
don't know
Invented.
how many
Box.
letters are in Wiener.
But find a way, Dan. You would have been 3/4 of the way there. First time
5,
you've ever
6,
heard that
but
with
good
Wiener in
math.
And
one sentence. Go ahead.
So Fleabag, but also Malcolm in the Middle. I think that's what was sticking with me.
What about you're an expert on gaslighting, Z? How effective did you think Rue was here with her gaslighting techniques? She pretended like she was gonna kill herself if her sister didn't let her smoke weed, more or less.
I think that's gaslighting. Gaslighting is, oh my, it was like,
Well,
it was
she
just
presented
weed
it as one of her
and I'm doing
bullet
it for my
points.
anxiety and blah, blah, blah.
I thought this was like for you, this was like a bad Rue few scenes here. Like this was not a high
Oh,
point for
this
Rue as a
isn't usual
character.
Rue. This isn't
No,
who she
I'm
is in every
saying this.
episode.
I'm saying this is very unlikable, Rue. Anything
Yeah,
else
it's the
from you
same
here, Dan?
Rue. You missed Craig gaslighting me.
I was just saying
Hmm.
that this was not a good Rue few sequences, and it was a chance for Z to pile on, but this wasn't the most likable Rue here.
No, and like she made a compelling case, but I think Gia held her own in that.
I thought, if nothing else, it was a good acting scene for Gia, the character.
Isn't Gia's life like ghetto?
Like, just because she just stays in her room or smokes weed with
Like
the Nick Cannon
her
twins.
single mom has to work all the time, so she's stuck at home, like protecting herself from her angry drug addict sister. It just sounds like it sounds more ghetto than it looks in the show.
Welcome to my life as a teenager without a sister.
Your sister is addicted to home births, not drugs.
Yeah. So we get this like slut whore exchange. I think this is with Jules, where they're like, we kind of see this is like the beginning of the ultimate manipulation by Elliot here. Rue is, you're gonna like him. She doesn't think so. We get this like Jules interrogation scene. And he's been with 2 to 3 girls, but he finished really quick on the first one, so she definitely wouldn't count it.
Craig, let's talk about
I don't think you can have that conversation with me, ma'am. In fact, I used to say if I didn't finish, it shouldn't count on my record, but I did. Nobody else bought that, but I still think it's valid. You can give me your rules when you want
Wait,
to.
but if a girl said that, you would be like, "You're the biggest whore I've ever met."
No, I was just saying if I couldn't finish, I don't think it should count. Where do you stand on that, Dan?
I think that if you're in the garage, you're parked.
Interesting theory.
That's a good analogy. Is that the word?
Yes, that is something that you can use
Or
there,
or
metaphor?
metaphor.
Yeah, that's
but
great.
not a simile.
You tell your daughters that.
Oh,
Because, no, seriously, because so my friend was waiting till marriage.
We're like
Then
soaking.
she was like, oh, because she had this guy sleep over when I was there, and yeah, I don't know, like we made out and did stuff, but he was just like pushy and put it like, I don't know, I just let him put the tip in, and I was like, wait, so he like took your virginity without even like having a discussion about it? And she's no, she goes, the tip doesn't count. If the tip counted, I've had sex with like dozens of guys, and I was
My
like,
God.
oh.
you have to ask yourself this: can you get an STD? Craig, you might not come, but it still counts.
You're covered and you didn't. That was actually my full defense, is if it was covered and I didn't finish, nothing happened effectively. Dan, we have your stance on the garage. Where do you stand on the backyard shed? What if the car's in the shed? Question mark. Does that still count?
Like from a guy on guy thing, it would have to. So I think if you switch it, the same rules apply.
All right, so
Where would you park at Jules's house if you were with her, Dan?
I'd
here's
probably just leave it on the front lawn.
there's only one place to park. Speaking of, I didn't know what a binder was. Z, I'm assuming you knew what a binder was, did you?
I thought it was for boobs.
I think it can be, but it must also be for peepees because we know that Jules lets those things flop around. Dan, did you know what a binder was?
No, and I don't even really remember this part of the episode. So
I thought it was the Mitt Romney thing, but I think Binder's full of women. But yeah, there was some sort of exchange where he was like knocking her for wearing a binder, which I assume it's
He's
like taping down your dick, but with a training bra
he's
deal.
purposefully getting under not Jules's skin
Like he's
with
nagging her.
but he's also like compliment. Then he like goes into this giant compliment of her, and
I
is
think he's
but I'm
very
sure Rue's
manipulative.
told you that, and he's saying that because he knows Rue does not express herself like that. So, but now he's got Jules questioning. Wait, so Rue must not think these good things about me because she really hasn't said it. But Elliot knew he wouldn't. She wouldn't like that. Rue wouldn't say that to her because Rue does not do that.
So Elliot jumps the shark for me here. I don't like him, and obviously I'm not interested in Jules, but I don't like him coming between this relationship. So multiply applicable here, Dan. Your thoughts?
Jules has a line somewhere around here that I kind of liked. She says she doesn't like sarcastic people. And I got to think she'd love this podcast if that were
She
the
definitely
case.
would love you, Dan.
Ah, no, she wouldn't.
Anything else?
Nope, just that.
So Jessica Z has long suspected the principal of being Kat's biggest customer, but now we meet Vice Principal Garcia. I thought this Lexi turn, I've yet to see where it goes with the play. We get another fake sequence. This is a better version of some of the ones we've got the last two episodes, but with like her show about her script. It seems like it's really this is Judd Apatow's daughter make her a director thing. What else do I do with this character? But I didn't like where this was headed. I thought they were showing a very different dynamic with her, episodes 1 and 2, and now we've taken a right turn. What did you make of this, Dan?
Actually, this was my highlight of the episode. Her whole This Is Life fake show. They have like fake interviews. Rue's there, stoned out of her mind doing the interview. Like in universe, I thought this was very clever and very funny. You do get that the actress that plays Lexi has some comedic chops. And I think maybe with the background and the family lineage, they might be leaning on it a little bit, but this works for me, and I thought it was funny.
My point is, I think that a character like this writing about her life is very cringe. So I didn't mind like this sequence I thought was well done, but I thought where it's going with the character, I'm just like super uncomfortable with it.
Oh, see, I'm not that far out of bounds, and I like seeing this version of Lexi. I liked her being like the co-detective to Rue back in season 1. I thought the Bob Ross stuff was funny. Like when
Yeah,
we get to
I was
see,
for Bob Ross and I'm for Lexi. I'm picturing a 16, 17-year-old girl writing a play about her life and performing it in front of the school. That's nightmare fuel. Z,
It's for
you're
social suicide.
thank you.
It's from Mean Girls. But okay, so I think this is like her, this is an answer to her saying, I think that I haven't even been a person yet or whatever, when they were talking about what, like, already peaking and already being at their 100%, 150, whatever. And she's, I'm not even like a person yet or whatever. And this is like an answer to it. And like, we're seeing her come into her own and everything. That really fast turnaround. Like this is a sharp, very steep incline to seeing who she's going to be as a person. But I also enjoyed it. I was like, this is so fun. I'm glad that, I don't know, she gets to play around a little outside of the regular story, just how like Rue gets to. I think that's fun.
Yeah, and I mean, I did really like them both in their like detective sequence last season. I was a big fan of the Bob Ross stuff. I want to be a Lexi fan. I think I'm just bumping on like the first two episodes, them going down Fez Co alley, and then now she's just very quickly in this world. Like I would have liked to have seen one of these two stories, but maybe not both. And I haven't seen, to be clear, how this develops. So I might feel different about it in an episode or two, but just here, that's how I felt.
Also, like, it's cool that her sister's just putting like all these hours and all this energy into trying to get a guy's attention. And sure, she says it's good for herself or whatever. But meanwhile, Lexi's like actually creating something. I think this is like not good for Cassie's self-esteem.
Let's talk about certainly I think Cassie becomes like more unhinged as this goes on. To your point, she's spending 3 hours getting ready. Z, what's the longest you've ever spent getting ready? How would you compare her routine to your daily routine?
I used to spend 2 hours getting ready to go
Really?
out at
I would
night.
have guessed I would have said you looked very nice. Like I would have said an hour, but like two, but two with all your ADHD side quests you're probably
That's it.
doing.
Yeah, and I was usually with my friends and we were trying on outfits. We had like an hour in, I'd be like, "Whoa, what if we crimped my hair?"
Yeah, no,
And
I'll believe with distractions that you could hit 2 hours for sure.
and it was only like when I would do something with my hair because it's long. So to do curl it, to straighten it, anything is time consuming. And I would drink while I was getting ready. So I'd get down like 2 bottles of wine before I went out.
We've seen you on one bottle of wine, two, I can only imagine. So the play is not Oklahoma. I feel like this is like Stranger Things adjacent. This video, so it's like the old. I'm doing my Borat impressions in the shower while my wife's getting ready video of Cassie crying in the mirror. But I'm a big fan of her Oklahoma outfit. Dan, do you have any thoughts on Cassie's beauty routine or her outfits here?
it all just seems a little bit desperate to me. I'll leave it there.
Z, I didn't think the Oklahoma outfit was that bad. I thought that was pretty impressive. Your thoughts? I am pro. I thought the Oklahoma outfit was the best of all
You
these
would wear,
outfits.
okay, so you think writing
I
a play
would,
about your life is social suicide. You think a high school is going to be, the high schoolers are going to be receive that outfit. You think
I'm
that's a good
saying,
outfit for high
I'm,
school?
I'm only saying that I received that outfit the best of all the outfits she wore
Not the
in this
Maddie
sequence.
outfit. Okay, actually, when she dresses up as Maddie, I literally like thought to myself, "Oh no, they're gonna show that she's getting uglier because she's like not sleeping enough." And then it was like her dressed up as Maddie, and I was like, "Oh, Maddie does that look better because it was the worst look that she's had this entire series."
When she was, it did seem like her work looks were getting worse as she went, like she was becoming like psychotically deranged. But it is sad. That's like the only outfit that Nate looked her way in. So
Yeah.
super weird there.
I would say
And she
that Cassie has been on a downward slide this whole season. And Z, it sounds like you've seen the next episode. I know we don't want to give anything away to Craig, but
Wait, which episode? I really didn't watch 4. I was with
oh,
you.
okay.
Nate does
Like
not.
the trajectory continues is all I'll say.
I will show you guys. I have not watched 4, so if Nate's dad, I'm sorry for ruining that. It was a joke. I
Okay,
have not seen it.
Good to know. We get like the truth or dare with Jules and Rue, and we get Jules peeing in the street. I don't know that we really got anything out of the truth or dare, right? Nothing.
I thought it was so funny. I was like, this is a good game of truth or dare. I would play with Elliot.
Oh, he did the scat play deal and then hauled ass. That was very bold of him.
Daring people to pee in the middle of the street, that's funny too. But I was like, that's a lot of pee for someone who's like just doing it for a dare. She definitely had to piss. That was a lucky dare.
Once you start, you can't stop. It's
And
Pringles.
I also was like, what the? Because I like forgot that she had a dick. So I was like, what the is she doing? And then I was like, oh.
Dan, did you forget that Jules had a dick and or any thoughts on the truth or dare sequence?
I did not forget. And when she was like licking his stomach, didn't do anything for me.
Is there a dare you can share, like a family-friendly dare, like an outrageous dare you've done in like a similar situation?
It was always to roll in the snow and then go in the hot tub.
Dan, did you have any wild dares in your day?
Like besides stealing
a sign or something?
Yeah, oh, that was a good one. That took me to community service. And I've probably done some streaking and stuff like that.
Ooh, hi-yo. Yeah, so I've mentioned on the podcast before, like my family would have a game called Sicka where they would put the sickest like dares they could think of in a bowl and you would draw and you would have to do them. So some of them was like streak naked to knock on the neighbor's house, but also you could pay somebody to do your dare
You
for
did that? Your sisters dared you to get naked?
No, but like it would be like eat dog food, but like my aunt.
Were your parents daring you guys to get naked?
No,
this is not okay.
It was like an adult game, but we were aware
of it. With kids.
Like we weren't supposed to be around, but they would do like adult versions and more medium versions with kids. They would be like, let's do these 10 dares with the kids here. And then there would be another bowl for when we were escorted out, if I remember correctly. But there came a point where you could.
There would be another bowl for when like child services showed up.
Yeah, infamously very stable background I had. But there was a situation where like you could pay people to do your dare. So one of the dares that my aunt would get would be like gargle raw eggs. So I would gargle raw eggs so I could get $5. So yeah, I would say gargling eggs is something I've done. And what was the other dare in my day that I was going to mention? That's the biggest one. If I think of any others, I'll share. But yeah. Oh, my family notoriously did do like the diving in the pool on Christmas thing. Was the other point to your like snow and hot tub. What do you guys make of Theo? Any thoughts on Theo, Dan?
Remind me of Theo.
He's the kid that she's babysitting, but there's like that situation where they're all sitting by the pool. I don't think like he's no season 1 ashtray. I'll say that for him.
Yeah, he's just a bit character in my estimation right now.
Z, where do you rank Theo? Bang, marry, kill. Theo, ashtray, egg.
Is ashtray, am I his Fez or am I just anyone else?
You're Fez, do you bang ashtray?
Wait, no, I don't kill him though. I keep him around. I marry him.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, is this a bang, marry, kill? I'm sorry, what?
I was just kidding. When's your would you rather? Is it yet or no? You said you had a would you rather.
Wait. Okay, so Marsha, is it?
Yeah.
They already like Cassie was upstairs having sex already, right?
That's gonna happen, but yes.
When she's like, oh, to be back in high school. Am I right? And you're listening to your son have sex, but it made me think of a would you rather. Dan, this is specifically for you.
Hey.
Dan, later on, would you rather be the house your daughters and their boyfriends hang out at, or would you rather your daughters go to their boyfriends' houses to hang out?
You're just talking about hanging out, right? You're not talking about anything else going on.
I think it's like if you're
I think
drink,
she's saying,
I'd rather you do it in the house sort of thing.
Would you rather, the question is, would you rather be in a position like Martha or just have it happen somewhere else? I imagine the answer is somewhere else for sure.
Oh, I'm not talking about anything, but would you rather be the house that they hang out at and be the parent who has to like deal with anything? Or would you rather it be like not in my house?
My kids are pretty well behaved, so with their natures, I would rather they be here, but if there's anything like untoward or just uncomfortable, they can do that at their mom's.
Good answer.
Smart.
Good
Third
answer.
option.
Yeah.
Craig,
Yeah.
would you rather specifically for you? Would you
Yeah, I don't
rather?
think I don't think I could be around my kids banging.
I don't have any kids, so I have a different question for you.
Okay, give it to me straight, Chief. And then I got one for you.
All right. Would you rather Sydney Sweeney
Mhm.
or someone who looks just like Sydney Sweeney but is 18, which is legal and a respectable age?
Sydney, sweetie.
Really?
Z.
That's
Um,
crazy.
Wait
Dan, do you
until the
think you
next episode.
Z, so question for you. Gay son or thought daughter? Or did you inherit both? Question mark.
we have yet to find out. They're only 3. I don't know which one I'm gonna mess up.
What did we make? So Rue thinks
Oh,
she's
and I think like right now I'd rather have a gay son, but I feel like with a gay son, like I would also have a thought daughter because they would like always be talking about like dudes.
so you'd have a thought son and a thought daughter.
Yeah, if I was, yeah, I think I would have that.
This takes a very right turn with Rue, with her just deciding she's going to be a genius and sell drugs. She puts on her Steve Jobs outfit. I think this is interesting storyline wise, but I don't like it for Rue. Like, it makes me uncomfortable. Like, it's almost a different show. What do you make of this turn, Dan?
Yeah, it gave me the ick. As much as I love Congresswoman Welch,
Oh, I keep forgetting that's her, but yes.
yeah, and I thought it was clever where Rue doesn't want the 20 grand in drugs or whatever it
It
is. She
was
just wants like
50, she goes
5.
to 10. She originally wants 5. She's off for 50. She settles on 10.
Yeah, but the idea of Rue having this stuff in her possession, this is absolute like catastrophe written all over it. I
Well,
don't see them painting themselves out of this
and
one.
her wheeling the suitcase to Narn and then the exchange with Ali. Jessica, your thoughts?
I don't think it's a good idea whatsoever. It's reminding me of the show Good Girls. Oh, Dan, did you watch Good Girls?
I'm aware of it, but I did not watch it.
You should watch it with your girlfriend. If you both haven't seen it, it's gonna be so
Okay,
good.
we got
Also, maybe introduce your girlfriend to What's Wrong with Aunt Diane, perhaps. Another
Yes.
and Freaky.
Yes.
To get the whole Jessica Z trilogy.
been a while, so thank you for reminding me how little I like Jessica Z
Wait.
recommendations.
Okay, did you watch Royal Gemstones or Righteous Gemstones yet?
I do think
God
he'll like
damn
that.
it. I promise you that one's
Remember
good.
when Z, I don't know if you represented this, but she recommended some weird Netflix Australian show she wanted us to watch, I think, or at least me.
Wait,
That guy who does the
Lunatics?
impressions of the
Lunatics,
girls.
and it's South African, I think.
Okay, they all look
It's
alike
so
to me.
good. You need to watch it. I literally just put that on my watch list again on Netflix.
Z, question for you. Anything else on the Rue stuff?
I'm basically doing a Roo right now. I'm divvying up little baggies of snacks for our road trip, figuring it out. But
She's also doing a Naru that they're never going to make it to the kids, and she's just eating them all.
Yeah.
stop, it's a family-sized box of Cheerios.
She's getting high on her own supply.
Okay, this is a horrible idea though. Like, it reminds me of Good Girls. She's gonna be in over her head. She is going to hook this up. Fez is probably gonna have to help her. He has to help her by the end of this season because then he dies. So, like the actor does. So I don't know if he could be like,
It does make you wonder, knowing some actors aren't going to make it out.
right? They're
That
gonna have
like
to be.
when Cal's driving recklessly, I'm like, oh, is this how they solve that?
Yeah, I
Well,
feel.
but it doesn't. Cal just recently died. And
Okay,
this
so
guy doesn't die till after season is filmed. So it's like a Gen V situation with both of them.
Well,
yeah, so I feel like next season they're gonna start with Aru. It's Fez. I'm gonna go away for a long time now, but I took care of the problem. And it's
It's a
just gonna
good,
be his voice.
that's a good Z prediction. Dan, did you have anything there you wanted to pitch in?
Just that, like, they mentioned the Eric Dane thing before the first episode of season 2. They did a little in memory of, and
Hmm.
so I don't know where production wise, like
We
that
did
breaks
get an
off.
we did get an in memory of on the current episodes for Cal. Eric
Yeah.
Dane or
Yeah,
whatever his name
yeah.
is. So, oh, that's what you were saying. Sorry. I thought you were talking about Gen
So,
V.
so
Yeah.
knowing that, I'm expecting that, like, anytime I see the character in peril, I'm like, oh, so is this just the easy end for this? And
Nothing's
Who
going to
is
happen
Gen
this
V?
season because he just recently died. That guy like offed himself, I think, or he had a motorcycle accident. Which was it?
I think it was an accident.
Chadwick Boseman?
No, it was like Bruno Mars. They're all Bruno
What?
Mars to me.
Is he
The
dead?
guy, no, the guy in the show
Elliot is
is.
also Bruno Mars.
In
He was
our show?
Elliot.
Wait, he's dead?
No, it's
The
whoever
whole
this guy
planet, the whole
was.
planet Mars is dead.
It's like a
It's
spin-off
short
of
for
The
Jennifer
Boys.
V.
It's a spin-off of The
I'm
Boys.
asking who is Jennifer?
Okay. It's
And in memoriam for Jennifer this entire time.
okay, so let's talk about this. I was very happy to see Cal slapped around by Ashtray. Anytime Nate or his dad are getting like bloodied, it's rewarding. Your thoughts, Z? Dan, your
I was
thoughts
going
why her
to.
mouth is full of Cheerios, why she's ruining herself on.
I agree, and I think this was one of the ingredients that had me give it an 8. Like the Lexi presentation, the '90s music, and then you throw in Cal getting smacked around. Like those were all good things.
Z, your thoughts?
Yeah, wait, now I'm confused. What if I liked this episode better? I don't know. It was so
You should
long. I didn't
have.
even
I didn't.
from my notes, I thought I didn't, but it was so long since I watched the other episode, but I thought I really liked it, but maybe I was thinking of one. I don't know. But they blend together for me. But also I
Take a walk inside
it
the
was
mind of
really
Jessica Z.
violent. It was really violent. And why do they keep making Ashtray do all these bad things? He's just a little boy trying to pay his mortgage.
He's gone bad. I think he's like a wild card thing is what they're making him out
Wait,
to be.
so was that actor like actually a child? Is he going through puberty now or something? Is he getting
Yeah,
taller?
yeah, he's a little
So
bit
it
older.
it wasn't just a small man.
And it could be a little person.
Hezbollah Z.
I thought he
Wild.
was like a small man. That's why I was like, that's so adorable.
In season 3, Ashtray is played by Peter Dinklage.
It brings me back to my grandma thinking that Rocket Raccoon was a man in the suit the whole time, but like in the Marvel universe, like she was convinced that it was like a man in the suit. No, not just playing the actor, but truly in universe, it was like a little man, like Z
And
here.
Groot was a man in a Groot.
So yeah, I also thought this was like a good Fesco scene of him just being confused as to why he was even there, and Faye being around any information just seems to be bad news road. Like Faye's a
Really? I just feel like she's just not gonna do anything because who's she gonna talk to? And
I could see a junkie situation playing out and then them like smashing her head with an ATM machine or something.
her man's gonna keep her high. He
Oh,
doesn't
well, I
want to
thought it
lose
was
her.
funny how Fezco can't even fake his way out of it. Like the actor's convincing, I don't know what DVD you're talking about. He really has no idea here.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Fezco a likable character is he's very low bullshit, I think. Like just generally a good guy. Hate to see that the actor is dead. I know the actor isn't the person, but seems like an old soul guy. Like sad to see him go. Obviously Eric
Wait,
Dane isn't his character either, but like Cal a lot less likable. See, go ahead.
but he doesn't know what he's talking about, right? Because Rue
Correct.
didn't
He's got
know
no
that
clue.
part.
Yeah. Once again, blind leading the blind,
I think Faye has the line of the episode.
I think,
which
dude,
is
If you have any more about the scene that you want to describe, do it. But
I
it's
no,
just
go
want
for it.
I
Whatever
just
you
want
guys
to say
got.
that I like Nate wanted this to happen. And what if Ashtray actually killed his dad? Nate would probably be fine with that. He'd probably go through all those DVDs and like bang all those people again, like one by one.
The only other thing I have is while Nate, we previously talked this episode about how manipulative he is. I'll not one to be, so I don't imagine he's going to take this depending on where this goes. Dan, your line of the episode.
Yeah, Faye says something to the effect of, "Do you and your son people together?"
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty interesting.
And coming from Faye, I can't stand Faye, but it was the perfect person for that delivery.
No,
Girls
100%
can pick
right.
up on like when like girls notice when dudes are weird, like where something's off.
So Cassie and Nate back together. All right. I'm sorry, Nate and Maddie back together. Cassie left in the rain. Hard times there. So we've mentioned before, like drug dealers knowing how to dose fentanyl. Very clearly, Rue is not going to know how to dose her own fentanyl. Do we agree with this, Z, as our fentanyl expert?
Does she have fentanyl?
That thing she ends up with in the end of the episode, I thought it was labeled fentanyl.
I don't know. It's
She
probably
just seemed like she put it in her mouth like some chaw or
Like,
popped it in like a Zin.
is it divvied up?
No, she just opened the thing and just
She has to
put it in
divvy it
her
up
mouth.
herself?
She like opened this bag that said it was fentanyl, like peeled something off
Was
and
it
just it looked to me like there was a whole thing of stuff and she just put the end in her mouth and is zoning out. Dan, what did you catch there?
Just that she had drugs, and I didn't want to see much more.
Do they make like fentanyl like dissolvables like a Suboxone?
I don't know what's going on here. I thought I saw it labeled as fentanyl and didn't seem
Yeah,
like
do
she
they
would
make one
know
that like
how to dose herself.
dissolves?
They make
That's
like
what I thought it
fentanyl
was.
Willy Wonka wallpaper where you just lick the schnozberries and they taste like schnozberries.
The fentanyl tastes like fentanyl. It's gonna look like Z's been marshalling half of this episode when she's like going down in the car because you just keep exiting stage right.
I keep dropping the Cheerios and I'm putting them in my old yogurt cup.
I get it. But that's not what it's gonna look like. Dan, any closing
Seven-
thoughts on this episode?
No, but this was maybe about as good as an episode as I've seen. So are you gonna chug that whole sleeve then, Z?
So I am making little things for the kids because it's a 7-day road trip. So
Yeah, sure, for the kids. You're gonna raw dog that whole thing.
no, we have
Like,
adults.
Are
We have
you-
adult
are you-
snacks for the front seat.
Are you
But,
making
oh, so like
Cheerio?
pop brownies?
Are you making Cheerio fleshlight? See?
Oh, I took a no, but okay, so yeah, like when the kids are like, I'm hungry, like I'll hand them a snack, and I wanted them like divvied up so that like when we stop to go to the zoo or whatever, like we're going to 2 different zoos, and then we're doing like Dino Fest at Stone Mountain in Atlanta, and so like we can bring snacks inside, like ready to go. For the
Cool.
hotel if they're like, I'm hungry.
Any closing thoughts on this?
Can I just like record like an hour of ASMR of me filling snacks?
Dan
No.
hates ASMR.
No.
I'm more of an ATM guy. So Z,
Ask him out there like he likes money.
choose your own
Which
adventure.
one is it, Dan?
Goldfish.
So let's
Two girls,
Z,
one
this is the
ATM.
last Z, this is the last time we're gonna pod with you before the Euphoria season 3 premiere. Any closing thoughts on where we're at?
Hate Rue. I don't okay, yeah.
Are you
so
excited for season 3?
Prediction. Fez, I gotta go. I'm gonna be gone for a while, Rue, but I fixed the problem. So whatever happens at the end of the season, like he's fixing it.
Do you have
And
any predictions for Nate and his dad?
yeah, that's this season.
I think that's a good prediction.
They're not really. That's gross. I don't think they'll do that. I think one of them's gonna
It
end up
makes
dead.
more. Yeah, I hope they're both dead.
Sling.
And I don't think I think they're gonna die as characters before the actor dies.
Dan, do you think we cover 5 episodes in the same amount of time next week as this episode?
Yeah, we're as long
Why
as
is it
I'm not
funny?
on fentanyl and you're not on Cheerios, I think we should be good.